Good morning, and welcome back to my senior project. So this morning, or today, we're actually going to be making a bunch of Spanish food. And so for breakfast, we're going to be making deviled eggs. This is actually a traditional Spanish meal. So this morning I'm actually going to be making 3 eggs because again it's just me. So what you want to do is take a pot and fill it up with water so that the eggs are completely covered once they've sunk down, and there's probably about half an inch to an inch of water above them. So I'll put 3 eggs in here. And then we're going to go over to the stove and we can just turn this on high heat because we want it to start boiling. So we'll leave this on, and a trick you can actually use to get it so that it boils a little bit faster is to put a tiny bit of salt in the water. This will just get things moving a little more quickly. It can also help to soften the shells of the eggs. That way later on when you peel them, it'll be a whole lot easier. So we're going to just let this boil, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so the water's now boiling. It's been boiling for about 10 seconds. And so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn the stove to low, and we're going to cover it. And we're going to just leave that for a minute, and then we'll come back to it, and what we're actually going to do is then turn the stove off completely, take it off the heat, leave it covered, and leave that like that for 14 minutes. That way the eggs can sort of sit in there and they'll get fully cooked through. So that's that. Okay, so it's been about a minute. We now can turn that off, and I'll just take it off the heat. And we're now going to leave this for 14 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. So I'll see you in 14 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 14 minutes, so we can now actually take this, and it's a little bit warm. We'll bring it over to the sink here. There we go. And I still have some forks in there. My brother had breakfast. So now we can take it off, and the eggs are actually done. So let's turn on the cold water. And what we're going to do is we're going to run the eggs under cold water for about a minute. I just want to cool down the pot a little since I'll be putting it down in the sink. And there we go. So you just want to let this run for about a minute. That way the eggs will sort of cool off and the shell will start to separate from the egg itself. So yeah, I'm just going to let this sit for about a minute. That's been about a minute, so we can now turn this off. I'm just going to empty the water out of here. Okay. Now, the way that I find easiest to actually take the shells off of these is to turn water on and to do it underneath the water. That way the water sort of pushes the shells off. And I'm actually not going to put them down in the disposal. I'll just put them back into the pot here. So yeah, now to make them deviled. Let's bring them over here. Oh. Very slow. Okay. So what we're gonna need is salt, pepper, of course, some mustard, and some Miracle Whip, or you can use mayonnaise. Normal recipes call for mayonnaise. I have Miracle Whip. I like Miracle Whip a little bit more. And of course you can always get this from, if you don't have the cash to go and buy bottles of this, just grab it from, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, whatever you do. And then I'm going to also have some paprika just for the end result. So what you're going to do is you're going to take them, and they're a little bit warm. They shouldn't be too hot because you should have had them underneath that water for about a minute, and then you'll cut them in half, and then you're going to take out the yellows, or the yolks. And I'm not doing a very good job right here, but try to avoid breaking the white, because you're actually going to be using that as your bowl. So, yeah, that didn't really work, but it's okay. We can see where the yellow is, and try to cut right through the middle of the yellow. I keep calling it the yellow. That's what my family called it when my brother was little and wanted hard-boiled eggs, and he didn't like the yellow. The yolks. So you want to just take all the yolks out. Try to keep the egg white as whole as possible, and just put all the yolks in one bowl here, because we're going to mix them up afterwards. Okay, great. So I did a great job of that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to just take your fork, and you just want to sort of mush the yolk all up so that it's all crumbly. You will add about, it's supposed to be about a teaspoon of mustard, and though of course you can add as much as you'd like. I'm going to try this out. There we go. And of course, as you're mixing it up, it should start to have sort of a different consistency. It should start to look, honestly, like mush, which is what you want it to look like. So, take the Miracle Whip, add some of that. I think that's good. There we go. Okay, so I'll have that, and I'll add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And there we go. So, lots of yellow mush, which is great. Kind of looks like baby food. It doesn't taste the same. Okay. So, now we can take this, and I'm going to get a spoon, because otherwise the fork is going to make my life very difficult. So just grab a spoon. Grab as much as you like. I am actually not going to use this one that I completely broke, because it's not going to work out. And then just push them in there. If you're just making this for yourself, doesn't need to look pretty. If people are coming over, I would try to pile it above the white. That way you sort of have a good, I guess, visual. It looks aesthetically pleasing. If you would like. And, okay, I'm going to stop talking and just do this. Okay, well, I have a good amount left over. I will use the broken one because I have a bunch left here. And I'm not trying to make anything look aesthetically pleasing, even though I'm putting this on Instagram, which you should definitely follow. My Instagram is in the description below, as it is on all my videos. And that's about it. There's more in there, if you can see, but everything just about has as much as I would like in here, and these are going to taste very good. So, yep, definitely the right amount of mustard and Miracle Whip. That tastes pretty good. So, last thing, that one is just a problem, isn't it? You can just sort of set them all up here. And I'll bring you forward. Let's see everything. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Don't know if you can see my head. So they're all there. That's the problem one. We're going to ignore him, or her, or it. And just put a tiny bit of paprika on it. It just adds a little bit of flavor. There is flavor in there. What I'm using also is smoked paprika. So it smells sort of like, oh, I guess smoked is really the only word to describe it, yeah. So, it's good, adds a little bit of spice to it, and it looks pretty, the red and the yellow. So that's just about it. Okay, this is the problem one. I'm just going to try to do that. There we go. Looks decent. So, that is how you make deviled eggs, and I think that's a pretty good Spanish breakfast. So I will see you for lunch. If you'd like to see the recipe, I have the entire recipe down in the bottom in the description, along with the ingredients and everything that you have to do to prepare it. Also, follow my Instagram at college_eats101. I have pictures of all the food and what each of the meals actually is. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.